So that was, yeah, I won't tell the story. But it's an awesome story. You'll enjoy it. So, David, come up and just give us some information.
Thank you so much. So, first, Farrah said mind blown. I'm glad nobody has hats on so it can get real messy. But guys, I'm really excited that you were able to come tonight because I realize that the people that are here, obviously, you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here because there's a reason why, right? You're either trying to connect with someone here in your market or you're just coming to get a little bit more information. So I plan not to disappoint. I will give you everything I have. I will get through this as quickly as I can, touch on the point so we can get at the end and then ask questions. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Now, it feels like I got like 50% participation on that question. I will let you know up front. I want participation. If you do not, I will call you out or I will sit down. And it's not fun watching me do a presentation while I sit down. It's not really good. Okay, so if I say a question, are we going to get participation back?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. So today, yeah, good. All right. So today's topic, we're going to talk machine gun marketing. It's essentially, why I chose that topic is not only is it exciting because people love machine guns, but also it's something that you can use right after you get out of here and start doing it every day. You don't have to wait. There's no conversation. You just get started and start marketing the way I'm going to show you today. Okay? So, if you will, like every great presentation, we all have to start with our story. I'm going to start with mine. As you can see, that handsome guy. I know what you're thinking, Ray. I look like one of your cousins, right? Like I was really smooth back then. I had a lot of hair.
R&B singer.
Yeah. Right, he does. He's trying to jump a high elbow or something.
There you go. I call myself El Demonio back then, right? But that was me probably like early 2000s. That's where I first got started in real estate. I just had nice shirts. I didn't really know what I was doing back then, but fast forward a little bit. I was lucky enough to meet that young lady at where all love happens, at the club, right? I met at the club, and we hit it off. We actually went to the same high school together, saw each other a bunch of times, but never dated. So I ran into her at the club, and then a few months later or years later, I'm thinking we had that special little guy after we were married, and the rest is history. That's when we were on a little vacation out in California this past summer. So before we get started, I often like to get into whether you're a beginner or whether you're experienced, there's always in this business a point where we have to ask ourselves, why are we doing this, right? And for me, the motivation in this business really just goes no further than these two, For my son, Jason was telling you, we just moved over to Satellite Beach. One of the main drivers in that is he wants to be a pro surfer, right? Needs some waves. So, couldn't really get down to Clearwater and crush it. So we ended up moving out to Melbourne. That's actually Costa Rica. We were there earlier part of the year, I think February or so. I want to be the dad that can provide for my son and give him the things that he wants to do to pursue his dreams in life. That's what I want. So that's what we put out there. And then also, my wife, right now, she's always been a great support for me in this business. Well, I couldn't say always, because in the beginning it wasn't so much because I wasn't making no money. But since then, she's been a great supporter. And as a result, now she's, helping us out. We also do some other business together within real estate. And she's also, right now, working on building a little fitness line of her own. So, my motivation is to not only help and support those guys with everything financially, but also to help them follow their dreams too. Okay? So that's why I'm in. All right? So my best piece of advice starting out for anyone, if you're just new in business, kind of want to get started, you got to know this business has a lot of different angles, right? You can ask anyone experienced that's gotten anything accomplished in real estate, they'll tell you there's a lot of different ways you can skin this cat. One recommendation I'll make, pick one. Pick one strategy that you want to get really great at and master that strategy first. Now, as you go on, those things like wholesale, lease purchase, creative financing, buy and hold, fix and flip. There's a lot of different ways to go that you might run into, but I would say pick one. And then when you run into those obstacles with outside opportunities that you may not be familiar with, that's when you want to maybe bring in someone that you trust that can assist you. Does that make sense? All right, fantastic. So, in this little presentation I'm going to do today, I'm going to go through a few things. I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest lies that real estate investors, that they believe, that I believe prevents them from having the true success that they really desire. The mentality flaws that real estate investors have, especially the beginners, that I think stops them from again having the success and ultimately lead them to quit. I'm going to talk about the 4 things that you have to do daily in this business. There's only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. You do this every day, you're going to have success. I'm going to tell you the best places to locate off-market properties, in my opinion, and how to unleash your untapped motivation to start living the life that you really want. Okay? Did everybody get all that?
Yes.
Pretty bold. Sounds like fun, right?
Yes.
I know what you're asking. How's it been doing an hour? Oh my gosh. Right? Don't worry. I'll get there. I promise. All right. So let's start with the 3 biggest lies. Number 1, you can make it big in this business without no money, no credit. Okay? Now, what you read what it says up there, it says you can make it big with no money. I didn't say you can't make it. But if you want to make it big in this business, eventually, you're going to send some money, either yours or somebody else's, and you're going to have to use some credit. Okay? Trust me on this one. All right? There's no such thing to make it big in this business without getting some leverage behind it. Second is, you don't need access to the MLS. I hear this all the time with some some gurus that are like, oh yeah, just buy my service. You can look up what do you call it? Comps from all over the world or wherever you are. Look, there's no other teller for value than here in your local MLS. If you don't have access to a local MLS, either through a relationship like a realtor or some other means, you're not going to be able to hit value. And that's the lifeblood, really, of knowing what it is you're buying and how you're putting deals together. Okay? And lastly, all you need is tools. Okay? How many people go to Home Depot? Okay.
Contractors.
Jason's contractors do. I was in Home Depot the other day. I just was. My wife likes to be at Home Depot. Okay? I myself don't enjoy Home Depot at all. But some people like that Home Depot mentality. They think, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'll just do it myself and it gets done. Let me tell you something. Try to go down to Home Depot, rent yourself a tool, and go out and use it you never did before. Okay? See what kind of results you have. But believe it or not, this is what people do in this business. They watch a few YouTube videos.
Yes.
They get on a couple of email lists, and before you know it, man, I got this.
You know, watching TV shows.
Oh yeah,
on the wall now.
not too much. I don't watch much TV, but yeah, there's some TV out there still, boy.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, oh yeah, in about an hour, don't worry, you'll have this thing flipped, looking good. You'll flip it for a big fat profit, and they'll say nothing about that big ass plumbing problem you didn't see. Because the seller didn't disclose because you want it as is, right?
Right.
So let's avoid that, okay? The other thing that I'm going to talk about here is some main mental flaws. Now, I like to call it Instagram, all right? Or make dollars. Because if you go anywhere where these people are flashing checks online and, oh man, I got this, I made $20,000, I ain't do nothing. Or my first offer, I made 50. Guess what, okay? Those people, I'm not even going to ask them to show the checks because they're usually covering up parts of it on the checks, okay? But I'll tell you one thing, that same mentality, in my opinion, is what's going to lead to their demise. But it doesn't, because in this business, I didn't get into this business just to make a bunch of money and drive a Bentley. I got into this business because I heard all the wealthy people were making their money where? Real estate. And I wanted to be that guy on the other side to then start accumulating some real estate. So then when it comes time to, I want to go hang out with my son on the beach, or I want to take my wife on a trip, I'm not worried about where the next check is coming from. Does that make sense?
Right.
So, and then the other one that I love, my personal favorite, and we all see it, easy's for me. Just press the easy button. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to, what, you're telling me, the computer does everything? And then I don't even have to talk to sellers, they just shoot out offers, and then those offers come in, and I just sign them and go to the bank. Sign me up! You know what? For those type of people, and I kind of feel bad, I'm not gonna make fun of them.
Yeah.
But if you're that person that buys into that type of thinking, you're doomed no matter what. And those are what you're getting preyed on. You know, people are preying on those type of personalities because you're searching, you're looking for an opportunity. But look, there's nothing automatic about this business. It takes work. It takes work. And that's why you get paid so much. Because a lot of people don't want to work. Just the facts. It ain't easy, but you make the money. Two, I think it bounces off the second point, the true trusting of all these people. They see people like, on these videos and they say, oh, we did this, or some guy said that he's done that. Even me. On Facebook. Yeah, even me. Okay, don't believe everything I say, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. I'll tell you this. Don't believe everything I say and just ignore all of it, okay? Believe what you want to believe. But know one thing is for sure. Nothing that you're going to have in this life is not going to come as easily as you see on the guy on TV. Okay? So if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. So just my thing is just don't trust everybody that says they can do it. It's not for real. Okay? And last but certainly not least, I think that the one major obstacle for most people, especially new people in this business, has nothing to do with what's happening out there around them. In my opinion, it's happening right here. Because this right here, you take with you everywhere you go. Okay? And if more students of this business, students of this game, took the time to invest up here, this business would be a lot easier for you. Okay? So, daily tasks. I promise you I would. I think we're doing it on time. I don't know how far along we are, but I think we're moving. Okay? Okay? Anybody in here actually buying houses right now? 1, 2, 3. Okay? And a few others that are moving in there. Jason, you talk to buyers daily?
Yes.
Sellers?
She talks to buyers.
Okay.
I get that.
I'm going to put the two of you in one. Okay? You did that legally. I'm just saying.
All the work, though.
Okay, all the work. So I'll direct this one to Farrah. Farrah, do you talk to buyers and sellers?
Yep.
Okay. Sir, your first name? Anthony? Right. Do you make offers, negotiate contracts there?
Yeah.
When you have the opportunity to? And are you doing marketing every single day?
Every day.
Okay. Every day.
All day, every day.
That's your secret. If you want to whip your phone out, you take a picture of that, that's it. Ain't nothing else. There's no magic around this. No hat. I don't have a hat that we're going to pull a rabbit out. That's it. You do those 4 things every day, you got a business. You're going to be successful. Okay? So why marketing? For the people that aren't buying, okay, because I know it's obvious. Why? Why do you think we have to market here? No, Farrah, you can't.
I'm sorry.
You're not allowed to answer, Farrah.
I didn't say anything.
You're like the hostess.
That's how you generate your business.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the more people that you're able to reach and connect with on a daily basis is the most amount of business that you're going to do.
Fantastic. You are both win. You know what you win? To be right. You get the right. You get the right award. Yeah, you won that. That was it. Okay? Yeah. Marketing. 3 things. Cheesecake to me. You can put it over there. Thank you very much. All right. 3 things. The 3 things that the main reasons for marketing, in my opinion, is number 1, you avoid buying out of thirst. And what I mean by that is, Jason's nodding his head, but there was a point in time when we were first getting started in this business, we didn't have that many leads. And guess what? When we saw those few leads, we started making those shitty leads. Am I right? Making those shitty leads into the best looking leads you ever. Man, we're like, woo! I can't wait to close this one. And we get it under contract, and it would sit. Or not, or not even get to the point where we can, get it to close. Right? We've all been there. So you avoid the thirsties if you have enough marketing, enough leads coming in. Second, you can keep your business going and you won't quit. Ask me how I know that.
How do you know that?
Good question. I'm glad. When I first got into this business, I bought into a big program. I paid about $25,000. Okay? Sounds familiar for some, maybe not for others. I bought into a program and I found this great education. I traveled from Florida to Las Vegas to California to Detroit, back home to New Jersey where I lived at the time. When I got back, I had a good friend of mine who said, I said, hey, his name was Kevin. I said, hey, Kev, tell me who you know that has ugly house, and I'll buy it, don't worry about it, and then we'll make some money. Well, sure enough, not a couple of days later, Kev came to me with this little old lady, literally, right? I had a 2-family property in Roebling, New Jersey. You might know where that is. And she just wanted to get rid of the property. She couldn't do anything with it. So what I did is I went out there, I put this thing on a contract for, I believe it was like in the 60s, maybe 66,000 or something like that. And then I went to a RIA meeting just like this, but in New Jersey, and I sold my property for another $10,000. So I flipped it, made an assignment fee of $10,000. That was my first deal. Now, I wish this was a success story after that, but what happened shortly thereafter is I think the secret behind marketing. Although I had all this somewhat of the knowledge on how to do it, and obviously I had some success, I didn't know how to market. So my friend Kat couldn't find me another deal anytime soon or fast enough for me to get another one going, and I couldn't quite figure out how to get another deal in the pipeline. Okay? So that's why marketing is so important. And what I did shortly after that, after having bills, just got married, and having a baby on the way, I quit. I got myself a real job. Okay? And then, until years later, I got back into the business. So I'm telling you, you don't focus on marketing, you got a job now, you go have a job again.
So what got you back into it?
That's a good question. I'd say around 13, I was getting out of another business. I had another car service business, and that business pretty much sucked more than having a job. To be real. And I sold out that business, and I said, I want to do something new. I want to do something different. And I said, well, real estate this was 2013, so real estate was just kind of coming out up in Jersey. And I said, well, I can get back into this. I know enough. And I said, well, let me figure out how to do some marketing. And I hired a mentor. I hired a mentor that kind of helped me get started around lease purchasing. And I think that was kind of my niche it's actually my favorite niche still to this day. When I first came here to this market, I think most guys knew me as like the guy that was doing more creative deals.
Gotcha.
Because that's always what I talk about. Because to me, anybody can do a wholesale deal. But it takes some brains to understand, which nobody really teaches out in the market because it's not sexy. Like getting payments every month ain't sexy. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is.
But to me, hell yeah, it is. Lamborghinis are sexy. People, I can go on.
Cash flow.
Yeah, I'll be rent, exactly.
Absolutely.
When you get in this business long enough, you realize that cash flow, that's the sexy part. Because cash flow equals you not having to be there.
Right,
When
absolutely.
you remove yourself from having this as a job, then that's what it really lights up. And that's what, ask any people that have been in this business, that's the pursuit. Once you get past making a few checks and taking a few vacations, the pursuit is how the heck do I get out of this? Okay? So, with that, and then lastly, the number one rule, great question. Anybody want to guess what the number one rule is in business?
I'm not allowed.
You're not allowed, you're right. Anyone else? Just a fair.
I'm guessing.
Go.
Follow?
Follow up? That's not a bad guess.
Stay consistent.
Not a bad guess. That would be follow up related, I think. But
Delegating?
delegating. Number one rule of business. Ready?
Go into the bank.
Kidding. Bank today. I don't know any business that doesn't have that in their business plan. Getting paid. Okay? Everything else is secondary in business, guys.
Yeah.
If you're not making money, you're out of business. If you're not making money,
Right.
you're doing activity, you got a hobby.
Yeah.
So we got to go to the bank at some point. There's a picture of me and my little guy. He's probably about 7 or 8. Can I share another quick story?
Absolutely.
Two people.
Yes.
All right, yes. All right, cool.
Yes.
All right, so here we are. That's my buddy Mario. I was doing I think that one was a wholesale deal. I had this property under contract, met a guy on Craigslist. Okay? Not what it's not going to go directly to you. Okay? I met a guy about a property review on Craigslist. Okay? He got it. He gave me the. I got the property from him. He had it tied up, and I found out about it, and I had my buddy Mario that was going to buy the property. Well, sure enough, fast forward, we go and close on his property. It took about 3 months to close. Fast forward, here we are at Mario's office. He calls me in. He said we're in a, he's in a company my half. We're doing 50-50 on assignment. What it works out is he has all this money, probably about 16 grand in cash, spread out in little stacks, right?
Nice.
So I say to him, I say, okay, what's the deal? He said, well, look, the guy that closed the deal, he didn't want to have this money show up, on the HUD. He just wanted to pay it outside the closing.
Sweet.
Okay? So he gives Mario, so what you see there is his cut. He got 8, we got 8, and that day I just happened to have him with me because we were going somewhere. I think we were taking him somewhere, and I said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I said, tell me this. How long do you think it took Dad to work to make this kind of money? He says, well, Dad, probably took me about 20 hours or so, probably, right? I said, yeah, okay, let's say 20 hours. I said, okay, well, how much is that an hour if you're doing, $8,000? He figures out the math at the time because he's smarter than me. And I said, it works out to be, I don't know, roughly 8,000 divided by 20. What is that?
Let's see.
8,
It's about $400 an hour.
$400 an hour. I said, okay. What do you think they make at McDonald's? Working. He says, I don't know, Dad, maybe like $20 an hour?
They wish.
He's 8 years old, right? So I said, okay, let's say they make 20. I said,